I think we can all agree, Jacob, that one of the
Yes.
things that gets us the most excited about the next Godzilla and Kong movie, which, by the way, is coming out in 2024. So excited,
Yeah.
are the Titans, right? So
Yeah,
the
right.
Titans are the reason why we keep coming back. We want to see more kaiju, more the dinosaur fights, the kaiju fights.
Same time.
So yeah, big dinosaurs.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about potentially 6 creatures that might pop up in the next film. Plausible creatures. We're not gonna be like, oh, we want Gamera or whatever. No. That's another movie. So
Realistic, yes.
yeah, yes, we're gonna be talking about the Warbat, Mothra, Doug, the scaly quadruped, Rodan, Behemoth, and the potential appearance of other Kongs. So
Okay, no, I think
Yes.
that's perfect because I just got out a lot of leaked images, and you can go check it out over on Dangerville. I put a video out, and there's like a lot of scenery shots. There's a lot of different settings and biomes. There's like jungles. There's going to be like a tundra-looking environment. There's like beaches. We know they're going to Brazil. They're going to go crazy with different Hollow Earth locations. So of course, I think this is going to be the biggest kaiju-centered movie yet in the MonsterVerse. I think they're finally making it happen. So yes, I think there's a good chance that some of these guys will show up. So let's break them down one by one.
let's break it down one by one. Let's start with the Warbat. Very good, well-designed Titan in Godzilla versus Kong. Very different from what we've seen. We've never seen we have in, I guess, the Godzilla 1990 something show, the
animated
show
series.
with the cartoon.
Yeah, it's called Godzilla,
Yeah.
the animated series. Joe, get it right.
Godzilla animated. God damn it.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
there was a I can't remember the name of it in the show right now, but it pretty much was like 95% the exact same as Warbat. And then later down the line, there's another one of the leaks that we've seen. I'm pretty sure like there was like a G Team reference or something like that, or no, Heat reference in the leaked material. And so everything's coming together that Adam Wingard was a big Godzilla the animated series fan, or at least he watched it because he was, the right age demographic. He was like 15, 16 when that show came out, 99 or 2000. So like, I think a lot of that's coming into motion, and that I think Warbat is. I liked Warbat. I wish it had more other than just being like, hey, something for Kong to just beat the crap out of real quick to look cool, because it was a really cool kaiju. And if it's in the world of the Hollow Earth, I don't think those 2 he killed were the only ones, right? Like, so it makes a lot of sense that we'd see more of them pop up. I think there's a good chance, unless they just said, okay, enough of Warbat, it had its time, let's just throw in new ones. But I think realistically, I'd like to see more Warbats, and I'd like to see them almost playing like a defensive role, because I'm pretty sure that Kong's going to be finding some sort of ancient god power thing somewhere in the Hollow Earth. Like, he's going to find something. And I feel like the Warbats are like a good natural guardian, kind of like, like Kong has to get through certain tests to make it to like wherever his destination is, and I could see like, okay, now you have to pass the room of snakes, like some Indiana Jones style crap or something, and it's the Warbat. So
That's interesting.
That's how I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good. I think that's a pretty neat use of the Warbat, because I agree with you. I don't think we've seen the last of the Warbats yet.
They're too
especially
cool.
since they're awesome. Like I want to see them again. But realistically, the point of this video is to give it like a % chance of reappearing.
Okay.
As much as I like the Warbat, I think that I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, if we don't see it in action as we expect it to, like we did in Godzilla vs. Kong. We might see like depictions of Warbats or something in the background. To me, that's more likely. Do I want to see it? Yes, but I'm going to give it like a 50-50. Like, I'm not 100% sure it's going to show up. It's a 50-50 to me.
Yeah, that's true, because like it is just like a random, like I said, it was just a random fodder monster just for a cool scene in Godzilla versus Kong. There's not like a reason for more of them to show up. And if they do keep showing up, it would almost feel slightly, I'm not going to say lazy, but like unoriginal. It's like, okay, you got more than just like the 10 Titans you keep showing. So I see what you're getting at. I think 50-50 is fair. realistically, I'd say it probably won't. Now, if you want to go with an actual honest like percentage, I'd say it's even less than 50. I said it's like a 25% chance, and that's only if it comes on the screen. It's not even gonna have a good role. Like it might just randomly, you might see one.
All right, so let's move on to another fan favorite. A lot of people I've been reading in the comments, oh, I want Mothra to show up. What are the possibilities of Mothra showing up in this movie?
Oh, that's another really hard one. It depends on how stingy Toho's being. I would love for Mothra to show up. I just think that would be an epic, like, if you're gonna bring back one of the Toho monsters, I think Mothra would be make the most sense, because we know in the deep lore they found another egg, so like she can be reborn. And if there is a world-threatening thing out there that's coming after, that's going to threaten humanity, the Titans, and pretty much Earth, then like
the world,
the next Mothra should be born, right? Like it only makes sense because she is the like soul of Earth, if that makes sense. She's Mother Earth, right? So like why would she still be in her egg? So that's a very, very hard
very
one,
interesting
like,
one.
yeah, because like
we finally have a good excuse for Mothra to pull up again.
Yeah, like it's a great excuse. Yeah, in the lore, story wise, if we're being accurate to the lore and the synopsis that we got, we're 100% Mothra would show up, because that is her duty, is to protect the planet. So there's that. But in the world of movies, Mothra probably costs 20 million just to throw on the screen, and let alone how much it takes to CGI her in, which is probably a lot of work. It's a beautiful monster. Probably she's expensive, but I know Toho is getting friendlier with Legendary and letting them use their monsters. But at the end of the day, they like that easy money. I'd be like, yeah, just take her IP, but it's going to cost you, because I'm pretty sure they probably paid for Godzilla. He probably cost 30 million a movie just to Toho, I bet, whenever he shows up. So like Mothra's probably up there, and I don't know for sure, guys, on this money. I'm just throwing out ideas here.
Yeah, but just get examples.
yeah. Who knows? Ballpark. But yeah, lore wise, 100%. Realistic wise, I'd probably keep it pretty low. I'd probably keep it down to like a 15%, just because the business end of things dictates so much in the movie world, and that's unfortunate, because like people, it's about the art. You're already millionaires. Do you need to be billionaires and worry about money so much? But like, yeah, that's just the way the world works, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. I have to agree there. As much as I love Mothra, and it makes total sense to have Mothra come back.
100% sense. Yeah.
Because of that, I'm gonna give it a little bit more than 15, because like if there is another good benevolent Titan to come back, it has to be Mothra. It was set up to come back in King of Monsters in the credit sequence, talking about how there's another egg and whatever. And I think Bernie was also talking about it in Godzilla versus Kong. I'm gonna say 25, at least a reference to Mothra. At least a reference.
A reference would be good.
Yeah,
because you could go and be like, well, the Mothra egg is hatching, it's rumbling. It's Mothra is in a larva form again, and then by the time she's able to get the peak form, the movie ends. But if they don't reference it, then it's just kind of crappy lore. Yeah, like, lore use, like,
lazy writing. Honestly,
there. It's not just King of the Monsters wasn't its standalone thing. Those monsters are still there. They didn't just disappear. Yeah. So that's how I feel. I mean, I would love to see Mothra come back, to be honest. I think on this list that we're talking about today, personally, I think that I'd probably be the most like, hell yeah, if it was Mothra. I want to bring it up real quick, guys. You see this? Hopefully it's looking good for you guys. It's a B-Stub shirt with our logo on it. And Joe's got something on right there. We're thinking about
it's the production shirt.
Oh yeah, because in the leaks they had Joe. I don't know. He knows a person who knows a person who knows a person, and he got that straight from them. I swear, I'm telling you the truth. Anyway, guys, if you want to see more of the merch, let us know, and we'll work on it in the upcoming year. Here.
Yes. All right. TITANS Doug.
I'm gonna say this straight up, and I'm gonna speak for the people. If Doug is not in this movie, get closer, editor. Get closer to me right now. If Doug is not in this movie, they fucked up.
You heard it here.
Because they need to show Doug again. It's kind of like the whole Kevin thing, but instead of it being Ghidorah, it's a new monster that they don't have to pay tens of millions of dollars for to use. Like it is like Behemoth 2.0, which I know we're going to talk about that one here soon.
We'll get there.
To not have more Dougs would be almost a crime. Like just because it's a perfect, cute little I mean, it's not little, it's huge, but it's like it's cute. In the grand, like you want more women to watch this crap. You want to stop feeling like it's just for us weirdo monster guys. Make more cute things. We need our baby Yoda in the monsterverse, and that could be Doug. Just imagine Kong and Doug playing fetch. My wife would freak out. She would be like, "Oh my god, it's like a little doggy." So like it would be, and it would just be cool, and it makes sense because it's kind of rumored that he's a relative of Godzilla in some way. It'd be maybe we know that there's multiple of these Doug creatures, which I want a real name for this thing.
Yeah, and this movie is called Origins. So like, and if they already told us that this is an offshoot of the Godzillas, right?
Yeah,
it's in the lore. It has to be. Not to mention Adam Wingard in AMA and Reddit. He said that they haven't gotten their money's worth from Doug yet, and he would most definitely want to see it in the next movie. So now we have an expectation. If we don't have Doug, we will riot.
Right, Adam. Adam, I shaved my beard to look like you. Now, come on, put Doug in the movie.
I mean, for all you know, he's probably working on it as we speak, which is great.
Yeah.
But if not, he done fucked up.
I mean, it just makes a lot of sense, and I think everybody would freak the hell out, and the MonsterVerse fans would love it, like the diehards, not just the typical moviegoers and all that. Like, they would freak out. So I think that'd be great. Honestly, I feel like Doug's chances of showing up completely realistic. I'm gonna go pretty high. I'm gonna go 80%. Just because
I'm gonna go higher.
I would want to go higher, but you
I
never know.
I would go 95% because like there's a lot of yeses here.
There's a lot of yes. I mean, the whole thing is yes. It's like cool monster, relative of Godzilla, cute, can do cool dog things with him. Not free, or like not free, but like you don't got to pay some other company to use it. Adam likes it. He wants to get more time in the spotlight.
It's a royalty free kaiju.
Royalty free. It's like they keep making like cool monsters for the MonsterVerse, and then they just forget about them after one go, and it's like they keep them in there. You make them characters. So okay, well let's just if you go 95, I go 80. Let's just meet in the middle and say 90% more or less. I think that's a fair. Yeah, fair.
Yes, sir. All right. So now that we got that over with, let's talk about another Titan that might or might not show up again. TITANS Rodan, another fan favorite, and I've seen a lot of comments lately on Goji Center talking about how they want to see Rodan again. I don't see Rodan fitting anywhere in the story in this next one. I mean, right now he's just chilling, and we know that Rodan only acts at his own benefit. If it doesn't suit him in any way, he's not going to pull up.
Yeah, he's definitely, all about him. And if the only way I could see him caring is like, well, if the world's going to die, and apparently it's threatening all kaiju, right? So like he has some stake in this, but I just, as cool as Rodan would be, I just think like if any of the returning Toho ones are going to come back, it has to be Mothra, which by the way, she's outside my window right now. Sorry for the blinding god ray here. But for Rodan, I just don't like, here's the only way I could see Rodan coming in and it being really cool. He comes in and kind of saves the day, or he sacrifices himself. Like a quick, like something really bad is going to happen, and then Rodan kind of redeems himself because everybody kind of considers him a piece of shit, more or less, So like that's the only way I could see Rodan having any purpose in this movie. It's kind of like a redemption sacrifice sort of thing. I just don't think he's going to show up realistically. What did I say for Mothra? I said like 15 or something like that. Rodan, I'm going like 5, just because he has all of the same flaw, like issues with like trademark crap and all that, but he doesn't really have as much of a stake in coming back like Mothra. Like he's not a guardian of Earth, he's just out for himself. So I just don't think the chances of Rodan coming back are very high at all. I know that's almost too low, but if I said Mothra was 15 and you gave her 25, then like maybe five's too low, like 10. You know, maybe 10, just because there's a little bit of a chance.
Yeah, I think there's a much higher chance of Rodan being mentioned in the novel that will come out in conjunction with the movie, because in Godzilla versus Kong, Rodan was in the novel. Like, it talked about how Rodan landed on the Fiji Islands and then went somewhere.
He's just chilling.
Yeah. So in the novel, I think there's like a 30% chance of it appearing there, but in the movie itself, I think 5 is right on, dude. To be honest, there's no real reason for Rodan to pull up. That's just it, you know.
It just doesn't make sense. The only way it would make sense, like I said, is to give him this heroic, like, for the people that, you know, or remember King of the Monsters. They were like, oh, or like the classic Toho fans, because he's always kind of the same kind of neutral character. They'll be like, yeah, Rodan, but like, I just don't see how it's going to be beneficial or would really like matter in the end. So unless Toho is just being like, use our monsters, we're not going to charge you anymore, I don't see him showing up.
Another almost impossible way he could show up, but also plausible, is if for whatever reason Legendary decides to kill Godzilla and then Rodan's gonna pull up like, hey, there's a spot, there's no more Alpha here, so I'm gonna want to take that spot, and then we're gonna have an entire post-Godzilla civil war, which is a complete like different alternative offshoot for the MonsterVerse. Very unlikely.
Civil war. Yeah.
Yes. That'd be pretty cool, like in an alternative universe.
Yeah, I mean, Titan Wars sounds like a great animated series. Listening to us, people. You guys want money. It's a good money idea right there. So, Rodan might come back one day, but it won't be in this movie, I don't think.
Yeah, no. I don't think so. All right, now to one of our favorites, Behemoth. If not my most favorite new kaiju in this franchise. I know you've talked a lot about this, Jacob, on Dangerville.
Yes.
Things are looking pretty good here, I think.
Very good.
Yes.
There is a huge reasoning behind Behemoth being what I'm going to say is a 99% chance of showing up. As close as you can get to 100%. And that is for the simple fact that he is the most fan favorite kaiju, not counting Doug. I'd still say he's more popular than Doug, to be honest. And because we have leaks that they're going to Rio, Brazil. So like that is where Behemoth chills, in the Amazon forest in Brazil. That is his home turf. That is his environment. So he's there. So if the movie's having a part in his territory, it just makes complete sense that like Behemoth is going to show up. He's fan favorite, and you already have it in the lore that you're going to his house.
Yeah.
So like,
yes.
He has to show up.
Remember the last time we saw Behemoth in the timeline is when Godzilla put him back to sleep after he saved his butt from Amulek. Behemoth is still there in his old location where he was living. Rio is like, I don't think it's exactly too close to the Amazon. I think it's like further away. There's another forest around Rio, but yeah, nonetheless, Behemoth is one of those titans that also has a lot of stake in this movie because he's the protector of the trees and whatever. He's like the Lorax, sort of. So if you know, all the titans that I think might or have a real reason to show up are the benevolent ones. They're the ones that are actually out there to protect certain things. So Behemoth, the Lorax personality, protector of the forest. We're in Rio, so I mean, it's there unless they killed it off.
In the Titan world, that's like a skipping distance away, you know. So it is just, they're in South America, that's Behemoth's place. So like, they're right there.
I wouldn't be surprised if Behemoth, like, he gets his butt whooped again here, and Godzilla has to show up, because remember there's a scene in the leaks talking about how there's like this there's thing in the air, right?
He's like, look up, it's coming, the director or whoever of this thing. Like, it's coming, and they're like, oh god. Like, you see all the pictures of, like, you know, the ladies in the city that are like, they're always looking up, which is, you know, obviously a kaiju or something flying.
Yeah,
So
it could be something flying. It could be just Godzilla pulling up, but I don't know. Something's going on here, and Behemoth is involved. Hopefully,
hopefully
but
he
yeah,
should be. Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna give it a 90% chance of it appearing. But I
Okay,
know
he's a
you
little
have
bit
it
more
a
of a
lot higher.
realist. It just
Yeah,
makes sense. It just makes complete sense. Like there is no reason to not have Behemoth come up. Like
yeah,
they know
yeah.
he's popular. They know he's
Hmm.
popular. They're going to his home territory. It would just be foolish not to.
Yes.
When we went to G Fest that Al and I did back in 2000, I guess it was 2009. Yeah, it was when King of the Monsters came out, and we watched that movie in the big old school auditorium they have over there, and the crowd freaked the hell out, dude. I mean, this is like the second, third, whatever time that all these people here have watched it, and when Behemoth came on, and like you just seen him go like, "Yeah." Everyone's just like,
Hmm.
"Yeah." And it was just like,
Yeah,
there you
dude.
go. I mean, like it was like freaking like a celebrity just came out on the screen. They cheered more for him than they did for Godzilla. So it's very obvious. Like if I was behind, if I had any say in this new movie, I would be like, you're just stupid if you don't, you know, put this
Yeah.
thing in the movie.
If it makes you guys feel any better, Behemoth was actually supposed to appear in Godzilla vs. Kong in one of the early Titan sequences where a bunch of good old boys, that's what they called it. And it's in the art
The
book,
good
so
old boys.
good old boys going out there with shotguns and stuff trying to hunt kaiju down, and then not Godzilla, Behemoth just goes and like kills them. But we didn't get it because obviously Godzilla versus Kong went through lots of edits. Hopefully this one doesn't have to go through that.
I was just gonna say you brought up going through troubles. From what I can tell, I think this movie is as smooth as you can get. If you in the leaked pictures that I was able to see, Adam's smiling a lot more than he did. His hair isn't going all. I mean, he's always kind of frazzled looking, but he's not complaining about going gray anymore or anything like that. I think just the whole Godzilla versus Kong, like he went from like an indie filmmaker pretty much to like this big blockbuster. He's having to work with hundreds of employees, maybe even thousands. He's dealing with hundreds of millions of dollars and all that pressure and all that crap. And then they had to go, and King of the Monsters didn't do so good. So they had a lot writing. If the Monsterverse was to continue, everything was, it was Godzilla versus Kong was the only way it was going to. That movie had so much, there's so much pressure on it that I think that now that they're past that, it seems like everything's smooth, everything's planned out really far in advance. Like it just seems like everything's going good. So I'm very optimistic that they won't need to do too much cuts here. I think he has the vision. Because
Hmm.
one more thing, and then we'll get to the next one. Sorry guys, I know I'm going off, but this is cool stuff. I think. I Rebecca Hall, the actress that plays Eileen Andrews, the Kong Whisperer woman, she pretty much came out and said like this was a joy of a production to be on. Everything went smooth, and she called it Adam Wingard's like awesome neon universe, more or less. So like I think he's got his vision for the universe. I think most of the team came back, and it's just like everything's good for the first time in the MonsterVerse. There's a clear vision for the
Yeah.
future, and so I'm excited for that. But we can move on now with what we're actually talking about.
Yeah, so it's a good thing that they have a direction now
Yes.
and everybody seems on board. I wonder if they're on board with seeing more Kongs in this movie. So, a lot of people that I've been seeing on the internet and commenting on Reddit, on YouTube, on Instagram, whatever, a lot of people are like, oh, I wonder if we're going to see, since it's called Origins, more Kongs or flashbacks to like the
Yeah.
origins of this war or something.
Yeah.
Are we going to see actual like CG Kongs there? Whether Kong runs into another colony of his own species, or what do we think here, Jacob?
I think that's a good possibility. You know, like Al's really gung ho about that. He's even made videos, on Dangerville and like theorizing about that. And it makes a lot of sense because if you we know they're down there. There's a good chance they could still be alive. They just got a not that this matters, but like a dance choreographer who's supposed to be, like good at like Kong movement and all that. So I was kind of thinking like if was hired to do Kong movement, but yeah, she's a really good dance person. Maybe like Kong's gonna get into like a weird ape ritual where he's like dancing because he finds a new crew of them, or maybe it's just the some humans down there that like original Kong worshippers that never left in the Hollow Earth, and they seen Kong and they're like, holy crap, there's one that's still alive, and then they kind of celebrate his existence, and maybe we see some flashbacks. But I think it's very high, whether it's flashbacks or if they're actually in this world, because we heard that the rumors that I can't remember exactly who it was, but it was one of the producers or one of the big wigs who like has control of the monsterverse. When they had he said like the rumor of like Son of Kong was being thrown around. Now we know that that is more than likely gone now because all the origin leaks and all that. But that idea was there, which means they thought about introducing other Kongs in one way or another. So I wouldn't be surprised. I won't go completely high, but I'm gonna say I'd 70%. That's where I want to go with that.
70% other Kongs will appear in the movie. Okay, here's where I would put my 70%. I'm gonna go back to what you were talking about, Mothra. Adding another kaiju, like any monster, is expensive and everything, especially Titans with fur. For those of you guys that are into like 3D animating and everything, you guys know for a fact that fur is a very expensive ordeal. It's
like one of the hardest things to create. That's why in the monsterverse, 90% of the monsters are like reptiles or fish things. They don't got fur because it's way harder.
They don't hate our furry boys. They're just very more, they
cost probably like 5 times as much to make. Like to make it look as good as what Kong looks like, it costs a lot more than what it costs to make Godzilla look good.
One thing is animating and rigging and building 3D models for lizards and scaly. You have fur and everything, but then the fur gets wet, it gets dirty, it changes throughout the movie. It's a lot of shit, man, and it costs money. But realistically, if we do see other Kongs, it's a lot cheaper to have other Kongs like in cave paintings, referencing them. Perhaps like a low quality flashback that's like on grayscale or something of, I don't know. But seeing more than one more Kong to me just seems a little out of budget for me, and I hate bringing this up every time. Like, oh, I don't give a crap about money. I don't give a crap about movie budgeting and whatever. It's not about the lore. Well, let's just be real. Like, I don't think they have the budget to do this. If this movie's a success, if the MonsterVerse crosses another $1 billion, I don't even know if they crossed $1 billion yet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring more Kongs later. Yeah. So I feel like it's a pending thing, right? Time will tell if we'll see more.
I think we'll see more maybe in a few. We got this Kong Skull Island show coming up.
Now that I can almost.
We're
I'm
going to see
guarantee
more in that. Yeah, can't guarantee because nothing's for certain here. You never know.
It's a lot more likely there because it's anime,
Yeah, and it's his origin story. We're going back in time. There's definitely a good chance we're going to see more Kongs there whenever that damn thing comes out. Jesus.
It's overdue, man.
Come on, guys. Like, if it's done, release that crap already. What are you doing? Your fans are frothing at the mouth for something. Come on now. I see what you're saying. Multiple Kongs, expensive, lots of money. Unless they figured out some new technology to where they can do a lot of copying and pasting of like Kong's fur and stuff somehow, and unless they figured it out to be smarter about it, maybe. Would it be worth it? Yeah. Would it make a lot of sense? Yeah. Are they going to do it? I don't know. So that's why I'm keeping it at the 70 and just kind of. Yeah, I hate, like you said, I hate that money has to play a factor in this, but this isn't a Marvel franchise. Like, they make a lot of money, but like they're not like stupidly making money, So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a realistic of it actually appearing. Like, if there's another Kong on screen, probably like a 10.
Damn, low.
I hate my pessimism here, but. A reference 70, or you know what? No, more than that. 100% for references.
100% because they're in the Hollow Earth.
Yeah, they're in freaking Hollow Earth. Dang it. 10% for an actual other Kong.
If they do show up, not to cut you off, but if they do show up, it's going to be at the very end. I think we might see like a pretty little girl Kong show up, and Kong's like, ooh, and then it's
good point. And then do you have it makes sense to have a Son of Kong.
Then you
later.
can get into wacky ideas like Kong has a freaking baby, but like I think that's the only way you could do like looking at the big picture and everything here. Like Kong saves the day, and then all of a sudden he gets the girl in the end or something, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and she just, you know, you see a girl Kong, which I think people would be like intrigued by that, because it's gonna, you know, it's gonna have
Yeah.
boobies. No, I'm just kidding.